Yeah. And good evening. Merry Christmas and welcome to the Dave and Chuck Show. We got Coach 8 with us tonight, and we've got Coach Chuck Phifer from Mars Hill University with us. Merry Christmas, gentlemen.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to all.
And Merry Christmas to everybody out there that takes the time to watch us. It's amazing that the people that come up to me and say that they like what we do, because sometimes I look and go, okay, but thank you so much, because we got a lot of folks that watch us and listen to us, and like right now we're like on 6 different platforms. So thank everybody so much, and have a safe and Merry Christmas. And remember, here where we're at, man, look out for those this year more than ever. Down around where Coach Phifer is, down around Marshall and in Madison County, it's still the devastation is the same as it was the day the hurricane came. So take care of folks and be good to folks. So again, welcome, gentlemen.
Yeah, Dave,
can you believe? Quick.
Dave, I went recruiting to Avery County, East Wilkes.
Yes, sir.
Watauga High School last week. It is crazy. It's you would not. When people has been there, the people that see the devastation now can say, "Oh, it's really bad." But if you saw it prior to the hurricane, to the flood, you can't fathom what's happening over that way.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous. It's unbelievable.
It is, and so again, make sure that you take care of folks. Have a little extra patience. Don't be a turd. People are going through a lot. We still have a lot of people in the Swannanoa area that are still living in tents. So let's take care of each other this season more than ever. Round 1, and I'm gonna kind of start and give you guys my overview, and then we'll get into it. And man, 4 not so good football games, in my opinion. I didn't think that they were great games at all, and I didn't. And I understand what the committee is charged with and how they have to do this, and we're going to get into that in a little bit. But the team to me that stood out, that is head and shoulders above everyone else, and I'm probably saying head and shoulders above everyone else in the country right now. And it pains me to say this, Chuck, Fibernets, when this comes out of my mouth, please don't have a heart attack. Please take a deep breath. Man, Ohio State is good. And I know we ragged on them from the thing from Michigan, but man, they're really, 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 really good. And Jonathan, I owe you an apology, because you said as far as what Chuck 6-7 weeks ago, that you did not want to play them if they did not get the bye and they had to play in the first round. You didn't want to play the Buckeyes. So I hate to admit that. It makes my heart hurt. But kind of overview. Let's let our guest, Coach Phifer. What's your overview on the first round? You can go game by game, or you can go overall real quick, and then we'll just start there.
I mean, it's first round. I mean, you got your higher seeds versus your lower seeds. I mean, Indiana's overwhelmed in the trenches by them, and so is the same thing with SMU. I mean, the physicality in the box compared to what those guys see week in, week out. I mean, SMU was AAC last year. They're not ready. They're not ready for that platform yet. Now they got some good players, I mean, but for every one they got, Penn State got 4. So, I thought the Clemson game was a good game. The ACC championship kind of left me kind of up in the air with Clemson. I was pulling for them, but mainly because of where I'm from. I'm born in North Carolina, ACC guy. but we know where the best football is played.
So, Chucky, Jonathan, let's get it going because let's get this going. First round.
Go ahead, Jonathan.
Well, I was just sitting here calculating it up. Since 2015, how many games in the CFP would you guys guess have been decided by more than 20 points?
7 games.
No.
How many?
Over double. I was sitting here. I'm pulling it on the CFP website.
CFP championship game
So
semifinal games, Jonathan.
you what?
CFP championship game or
Both. Good, because there's only been 4 teams up until this year.
Correct.
I did not count this year. All right. So it's semifinals and finals. There's over 15 that have been 20 points or more discrepancy. So when I see that, it puts it into perspective to me to go, I was expecting more out of Indiana, Notre Dame game, but then I go, all right. I expected more out of Penn State, SMU for the SMU. Hey, SMU completely outmatched. But if you think about it, the quarterback two complete horrendous pick sixes. Horrendous. He panicked and tried to throw them away and just threw them straight to a defender. The interception in the red zone, you got to give the defender credit. That was a hell of a play. That's just what it is. The first drive of the game, 4th down. All right. Here's what you try to tell your players from the coaching perspective. I love that you're wanting the touchdown, but you're the underdog. You're outmatched. Get the first down. You got the first. If you're going to throw it, it's 100% completion percentage. You don't throw it behind them. You throw it to the pylon and let him go get it. So for the score, to me, was not indicative of how the game could have went. Keyword could have. It didn't, though. And I think at a certain point, because Penn State didn't impress me. I'll be honest with you. They
Froze
did not
up on
impress
us.
me. Penn State. Who
We'll see if
froze?
he'll come back. You froze.
Oh, well, I was just saying Penn State's offense didn't impress me. Their defense did, but their offense did not impress me. It makes me believe that if they don't play lights out, the Boise may have a chance, which I didn't think they would to begin with. But the 2 best teams left are Ohio State and Notre Dame.
Yeah, they just
that's because of Notre Dame's defense, not their offense.
So Chuck, your overview, and then we'll start breaking this stuff down.
Yeah, my review was I thought we all expected that the SMU was overmatched, and I thought that Penn State played a sloppy game, didn't play well, but they have just tremendous athletes, and to me they got a lights out defense. God, I would be difficult to try and move that football against that defense, but. I was rooting for Indiana, but Notre Dame, I think Indiana was overmatched, and but I do think Indiana belonged, and I think just everything went poorly for Tennessee in their game, but I think Tennessee deserved to be there. It just went poor, and it's just the way it goes. I'm not upset with the matchups for the first round because there's always, in this. You see it even in high school football, and you even see it in every level of college football playoffs. You have blowouts. You have mismatches. It's just a way to get to the 2 best teams. You just got to go through that.
Well, I agree with that about the playoff.
Can I interject something here, man? For me, let's talk about Tennessee, Ohio State, because that needs to be spoken about. I don't think it's let me tell you. I think Ohio State, the way they played Saturday, if they had played the Raiders, is the Raiders one of the worst teams in the NFL this year? If they had played the Raiders or the Panthers, they would have been a competitive football game. You tip your hat to them. They played their butts off. And, man, they played well.
They've been one of the best teams all year. They
Yeah,
slipped
and
up
I
against
know
Michigan.
you
They slipped up. All they did
that.
I know. All they did was slip up against Michigan. They lose to Oregon by 1. They lose to Oregon by 1 earlier in the year. They slipped up to Michigan. They have been the best team, keyword team, all year. But the thing with Tennessee, and I've been vocal about this, hard part is it's feast or famine with that offense. But it's not just them. It's everybody that runs a version of that offense that it is a majority option routes by the receiver. So you have to hold the ball longer, which means your O-line's got to hold up. They have to hold up a whole second longer than the typical O-line. The average seconds to get the ball out is 2.2. They're having to hold up at least 3. That extra 0.8 seconds is massively big when you're playing high-level Power 4 football. So that's you get what you
Can I
get.
stop you? Can I ask a question of Coach Phifer? Stay right there, Jonathan. Don't lose your train of thought. Coach Phifer, that 0.8 seconds he's talking about, you are one of the premier defensive line coaches in the country on the collegiate level, regardless of the level. How big is that 0.8 seconds?
It gives me time to get there. Again, that's another kick slice, another kick step, and that's on my second. I'm at least on my second move by then, at least. And I'm gonna collapse the pocket at that point, at 0.8 seconds. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
We don't want our DBs to cover more than 3. If they covered more than 3, then I'm not doing my job getting pressure on the quarterback.
And that goes back to you've been very harsh about Tennessee's tackles. I've tried to be lenient because the reality is it's the system. It ain't the tackles. When you're having to hold up for 3 to 3.5 seconds as a tackle, you're on an island. You better.
Okay.
I mean, this is what it is.
Yes, I agree.
Let me finish. You told me to have my train of thought. Let me finish.
Go ahead.
When you're on an island out there, and that's the whole, there's multiple teams that run this style of system. If you don't have, the first overall pick left tackle year in and year out, parade All-American year in, year out, your tackles, you struggle. You look weaker in your game than you are because Tennessee does not get the ball out quick. They don't. Everything is an option route. It's called a fallout, a 14-yard stop that turns into a dig that can turn into a post. And by the way, their post can also be a go route depending on the leverage of the DB. That's just on the outside. Then they call them dirty digs on the inside. It's a dig, a bang 8, a curl, or seam. So you're reading those constantly.
So
that's where
Jonathan froze up again. You froze up again. So Michael, again, let me throw this to Fibernitz for a second. Then, if you're in that system, Chuck, shouldn't you have the tackles to play in that system?
Well, I mean, in college, you recruit the best that you can. I mean, sometimes you go after guys, you don't get them. So you take what you get and you coach them up the best you can. Okay. I don't think there's so many variables going into that game. We talked about, did Day lose his locker room or did he win it back? Because there were a lot of factors going into the game. We didn't know Ohio State was going to come out and play like this. Could be the same version that played against Michigan. They weren't.
No.
But, the matchup also is that Ohio State, I think, coach can speak, from Mars Hill, can speak to the defensive line of Ohio State. They gave him fits. And they collapsed that pocket. When he said that they collapsed the pocket, and the young kid quarterback, I am Aliva, he felt that pressure. And other than the second quarter, he struggled. But I think, honestly, guys, and I said this, playing in that weather is you have got to be acclimated to it.
The weather, once the ball's kicked off, the weather don't matter. You got heaters on the sideline. You got heaters in your damn jerseys now.
I understand. But once you go and you're not used to it and you're sitting a long time, Ohio State moving the ball, the defense or the offense of Tennessee sitting on the bench trying to stay warm. Jonathan, those heaters, in the old days, we didn't have them, but I'm assuming those heaters can keep you warm for so long. Once you get up, it goes right through you. And I thought the one thing why it got into the mind of Tennessee was that they had, in pregame, they came out a lot of the Tennessee Vols came out with no shirts on. And I thought, it's in their mind.
Well, I mean, Notre Dame did the same thing.
Right. 3 minutes later, Tennessee was putting those shirts back on. And the fact is, once you get cold like that, you can't get warm.
You see, I mean, I understand what you're saying, but I'm going to disagree with that had a factor in the game. What had a factor in the game is you go down 21-0, and then you got to give Ohio State credit. They played 3 safeties. They played a 40 front. It means 4 down linemen, 0 linebackers, because they knew Tennessee had to throw the ball. So they went 4 down linemen, 3 safeties, and literally we're going 3 over 2 to each side. Daring you to run the football. And when you can't run the football when you're down 21-0. And so just to go back to prove the point of you got to have –
it's 5-man pro. It's 5-man pro. And you got 2 1-on-1s, 3 1-on-1s, and 1 double team. Ohio State will win that battle.
And that's the thing. So 2022, Tennessee had the best offense in the country. Oh, by the way, their left tackle, Darnell Wright, 10th overall pick of the Chicago Bears. You can do those things when you have that type of dude.
Right. And I agree with you 100%. I have a question to ask you, Jonathan, because you know the inside part of Tennessee. Once Dylan Sampson got banged up as far as the hamstring, did that affect the play calling? Did that change things for him?
I mean, yes and no. They were down. They had to throw the ball. So him being hurt obviously takes the ball out of the best player in your team's hands. But the quarterback, the reason why they're doing so much quarterback run, and if you notice they were doing it outside, is because they were going 0 linebackers in the box. They had an extra overhang linebacker outside, so they had to use the tailback as the kick out block because they didn't have enough receivers to block. They were going 3 over 2 to both sides if we went 2-by-2 formation.
Right.
And I mean, it's just, once again, you got to tip your hat to Ohio State. They got up 21-0. It's hard to come back from that anyway, but especially in a system that thrives off of running the football.
Right.
It's really hard from calling a plays perspective to mentally stick with running the football when you're down 21-0 at the blink of an eye.
They made Tennessee do what they wanted them to do. They made Tennessee play different.
You're exactly right.
So before we move on, I want to ask one more question here about the Ohio State Tennessee game.
Coach Wright, stand up and put that dang thing up there with a little pride. Show who you got on your chest right there.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh,
talk with your chest.
There you go. There you go.
There you go, baby. But listen, and this is more so for Coach Phifer and Coach 8. The opening drive of the game, when they were going to go 3 and out, and you got a silly, ridiculous, and it was a good call, the face mask call, which just is what's a silly play. You're going to go 3 and out, forced him to punt, and now you gave them 1st and 10. They go on down and score. How big was that? How big was that? For now, you two tell us real quick, and then we're going to move on.
My opinion is like the referees non-conference. You allowed a bad referee to make a bad call.
You thought that was a bad call?
Well, it's in the framework of the play. He didn't. I mean, he's locking out. He's long arming. That damn hand slips up there. Unless he's just blatantly, locking them out.
I look at it in the same way of when they say a defensive player for targeting and the defensive player ducks and then puts his helmet away and they get targeting. That's BS. I look at it in the same sense of that. They're making the game too damn soft. I mean, they really are.
Well, I wasn't asking that. I was asking.
I'm explaining.
Yeah. Okay.
I look at it in the same sense of how Coach Phifer was talking about. It's in the framework of the play. His head didn't jerk back, but it's also they've made it. Hell, I was a quarterback. Trust me, I get it. But
It wasn't what Jalen Carter did against Pittsburgh. It wasn't that.
No, you know what I'm saying? Like
it wasn't that.
They've wimpified the position of quarterback that if you even remotely breathe on them wrong, it's a flag now. I can understand if he went in there and it was a club to the head. I can understand if he went in there and jerked his helmet off. But when he's going in there and he's getting drove past, because he just straight up beat the guard, and then that's the only way he can get there. And then he just kind of ducks his head and gets that's how I think it's BS. And I would have said the same thing if it was the other way, and it would have helped Tennessee.
There is no more. Everything is 15-yard penalty face mask. There is no. Remember, you had when the hand just touched it, no grass. It was unintentional or whatever. And it's only 5 yards. There is none of that anymore. So it's all 15 yards now. Even if you touch it.
So yeah, I think that changed the momentum early because once again, it was still the better team. But you go 3 and out and punt, at least it's not 7-0 in the blink of an eye, and give the freshman, who by the way is the best wide receiver in the country, confidence early.
You mean he's not a 17-year-old from Tuscaloosa?
No, he's the second best though. Just saying.
I don't think, and you guys would disagree here, I don't think there's a lot to discuss about Indiana Notre Dame. I don't think there's a lot to discuss about Penn State SMU. Hey, I give Dabo credit. Those guys were ready and they played hard, but Texas was a much better football team. Am I wrong in that assumption?
No, I agree 100% with that. It's like any playoff system. Your first-round games are going to have blowouts. And clearly Notre Dame was superior over Indiana. Texas was superior over Clemson. SMU was an inferior opponent for Penn State. And Ohio State was a superior team over Tennessee.
Yep.
You're going to have in the first round.
Sucks. You know what? And I was telling Dad this today. You know what sucks about Ohio State and Oregon game? The 2 best teams in the country are playing in the quarterfinals and not the championship game.
Right.
The semifinals, if they get there.
No, it's next week. It's the quarters.
Oh, that's right.
That's what I'm saying. Like, to me, those are the 2 best teams. Like, it just sucks from that standpoint because that game, to me, the winner is the national championship. Like, they're
Yep.
Well, let's talk about it then. Texas, Arizona State, they're playing in the Peach Bowl. I've got a picture of you in the Peach Bowl somewhere back here, John. They're playing in the Peach Bowl, Texas, Arizona State, and that's going to be January the 1st at 1 o'clock. Talk to me, man.
I don't know much about Arizona State. I haven't seen them play maybe a quarter, maybe on highlight on SportsCenter. I haven't seen much. I haven't seen them play much at all, so I can't tell you much about that.
I've seen Arizona State play once, and that was against BYU. Yeah, they got a lot of energy and everything, but Texas is not BYU. Texas got too many lethal weapons. They got tremendous speed in the backfield, 2 backs, receivers, quarterback. Yours is good. You know?
What is that that Jonathan – yeah, what is that Jonathan and Coach Phifer say? They got dudes.
Texas has got dudes.
You know, Jonathan, Texas, Arizona State, real quick.
I mean, y'all are going to sit here and
I'm not going to say anything. It's what we do.
Kind of hate on it in the sense of I root for. I was rooting for Arizona State and everything, but the bottom line is they're not deserving of being the number 4 seed.
No.
And this could get ugly pretty early.
Do you know
Notre Dame, Georgia?
Well, I'll add this. Came over the wire that Carson Beck has had elbow surgery today, and he will start throwing in the spring, which means he's completely out.
Yeah, he's done. Yeah. That's the same. Yep. That's the same surgery that you had, Jonathan. So it's going to be a while. Georgia, Notre Dame in the Sugar Bowl, 8:45 on January the 1st.
Wow. Notre Dame's. If you want to know the truth, Notre Dame is Notre Dame's defense is better than Georgia's offense. Georgia's defense is good.
That's
Georgia's I don't cool. I don't like them either. But you want me to talk about the game? I want to tell you the truth about the game.
absolutely. I want you. That's what we
Notre
want.
Dame's defense is better than Georgia's offense. Georgia's defense is better than Notre Dame's offense, but Notre Dame's healthier than Georgia, and Notre Dame's got 3 tailbacks that can tote the rock. Notre Dame by 7.
Woo, Coach Phife.
I think I was looking at Sports Insight. I think the big defensive tackle for Notre Dame is out. 55, I think. Big kid.
Yeah,
Riley Ellis out for the year.
I think he's out.
Yep.
That's going. But I mean, hell, the kid from the defensive end is 6'7", number 30 for Notre Dame. Hell, he don't even start.
He's a true freshman.
He's a true freshman. So I like the way Notre Dame plays defense. Of course, I'm the boring side of the ball. I like defense. I don't mind a 7-12 game. I don't mind that at all. That's somebody getting that. You know what I'm saying? I ain't Jonathan. Jonathan want them suckers in the end zone, baby. He wants them fireworks. I want 3 yards of dust.
But I'm gonna tell you, watching Notre Dame's defense is fun though.
Fun.
I'm not a Notre Dame fan, but I'm gonna tell you their defense, their secondary. God, they fly around. They're fast. They're physical. I just think that their defense is the key to them winning this game.
So Chuck, these 2 coaches are picking Notre Dame.
Well, I really admire Coach Phife, but he got all that inside knowledge. But I never go against Johnson. I only pick on him all the time. And I wrote this down, Notre Dame. I'll take Jonathan and Coach Phife with us to Las Vegas. They can watch you and I bet. They can't bet because they're coaches.
That's right.
So I'll go to the window and bet what Jonathan tells me to bet.
You ain't right.
Everybody had them suckers ready though. They'll have a chip on their shoulder. They will have a chip.
Yeah.
They will be jacked up.
Penn State, Boise State in the Fiesta Bowl. New Year's Eve at 7:30. So that's over in Arizona. Again, weather and inside, all that good stuff. Boise and Penn State, gentlemen.
I want to see how long Boise's O-line can last.
There you go.
How long that O-line can last.
Penn State wins only because of their defense, not because of their offense.
Are they pedestrian offensively?
Yes.
At the moment, yeah, because they're hindered to being 100% around their tight end. And if you can take their tight end away, they cannot get the ball downfield in the pass game at all. And so that's, like I said, their defense. Because think about it though, SMU, SMU's not that. I mean, they're a good team, but like Coach Phife said, they were in the AAC last year. Kudos to them for winning their ball games, but how many points did their offense really score before it became garbage time? Like actually go score 7.
I think
it happened a whole lot faster for that quarter. He wasn't expecting some of the guys to be there that fast.
But you see what I'm saying? Like they were up 14-0 before their offense even got 3 first downs.
Yep.
So that's my kicker is their offense has to stay on the field because if Genty's not on the field, Genty can't score.
Coach Phife?
And all if they can run, if they keep Penn State on the field, converting first downs with the running back, they have a chance. But I think it's gonna be tough for them to run the ball. But he's a hell of a running back. Golly, he's the real deal, Holyfield.
Oh yeah, and he's gonna be better in the NFL because he's gonna have a different level lineman.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that takes us to the Rose Bowl.
Can they use Genty in a different way out of the backfield catching passes? Is that something that they may try to free him up in the space?
They're going to have to do something.
Because I don't see them going, okay, I'm direct coming at you downhill running against.
They better not.
So they're going to have to free him up some way to have the ball in space. And I don't know how you do that other than from a running back is putting.
Now, granted, probably everybody they play is put 6, 7, 8 in the box. So, but it ain't Penn State 6 or 7 or 8 in the box.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Okay.
It's Nevada. It's them cats in the box.
So before we move on to the Oregon Ohio State game, and I've got two coaches here. I've got two guys that had a radio show for, I guess, a combined 8 or 9 years, and so my question is this: Coach Franklin, yes, they won and they beat Penn State. I mean, they beat SMU on Saturday. His MO is he cannot win a big game, either at Vandy or Penn State. Granted, they did win last Saturday. Is that pressure that I know that he feels, is that still on him going into this game? And does that affect the players in the locker room? Is that
We're playing Boise State? I'm not being rude. I'm just calling it like it is. Everybody, the second the bracket came out, everybody said Penn State has the easiest, most advantageous road to the Final Four. So no, the pressure is not really. I mean, he's not playing Ohio State or he's not playing Texas. He's not playing Oregon. He's playing Boise State. Stop the run, you win the ball game.
I have to agree with Jonathan. I don't think there's any pressure on James Franklin. There was pressure on him, but that went away early in the game against SMU. There was pressure on him. He felt it. I'm sure he felt it because that's all they talked about leading into the game. But I think going in there, he is – I don't think he's feeling any pressure. He thinks his team's better, and they're going to show it, and they're going to be at a neutral field. And good luck. Let's go play. He's got a defense to win, to get to that Final Four, Final Two. He's got a defense that can do that.
Do those things, Coach Phifer, do those things affect the kids in the locker room in 2024 at that level?
I can't tell you, speaking for you asked Jonathan, I can't tell as a head coach. I can't tell you that. You know what I'm saying? But I can tell by my position, I'll put a little more added pressure during the week to my position, considering we're playing a very heavy run team. Okay, guys, it's on up. We're playing a good quarterback that can flat out sling it. Guys up, let's get pressure. So, listening to his comments after that game, he kind of seemed a little bit relieved that, okay, we got this one. The way he was talking to his kids, like, I knew we were going to do it all along, kind of like in the back of his mind, like, sheesh, I'm glad that shit's over. On the boys now, so, but as a head coach, I can't fathom some of the pressure that's on the head coach, especially at that level, saying, I mean, like around there, everybody's telling you you suck. You won 70 games in freaking 9. I mean, you won, but you ain't beat Michigan in 4. But now you can't coach because you ain't beat Michigan.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that, kind of, as a head coach. That's why I'm not a head coach, because I'm not as, what's the word I'm looking for? As
built,
as verbally correct as I need to be, because I'll strictly tell you how it is. Unfortunately, it gets me in trouble a little bit.
Oh man, I've got some stories on Coach Phifer that one of the greatest things I've ever seen on the football field is what Coach Phifer did at Tusculum one day to the offensive side of the ball. When that kid dropped those 2 balls, that's one of the greatest stories. And Coach Matthews and I were still, I mean, it was like drop down, cry. You're laughing so hard, but we can't do that here. Jonathan? Yeah,
you don't have no film. I didn't do it.
What's that?
Jonathan knows. Jonathan has to be different. As
that's what I'm saying. Joe, I don't want to go back and talk about anything about your stuff at Tennessee because this is not the forum for that. But in that locker room, the Penn State kids, does that stuff affect those kids playing the football game when it's that level? Because nobody, you understand the bigness of what they are in. It is much bigger than anybody watching or listening to this show would ever understand how big it really is.
it's different now than it was then. Now they're not playing for the school. They're playing for the next NIL deal. So therefore, doesn't matter if they like the coach, they hate the coach, they want him to get fired, or they don't. They're going out there and giving everything they got because they know they got their next NIL deal. They're, whether it's a Mercedes dealership, mom and pop construction company, whatever it is, doesn't matter. It is on the line. So no.
Okay.
The kids are going to go play
Fair.
their ass off regardless, because think about it. With all the money that's floating around now, I mean, they got these kids that are literally getting their parents chauffeured limo drivers in NIL deals. They're getting chauffeured to saying, I don't want to drive, so you got to get me my own personal driver. I need X dollars in my bank account. I need this, blah, blah, blah. Right, wrong, and different. So they go out there and they lay down. Well, that deal's going away. Maybe that deal gets cut in half the next time they try to transfer. So I don't think the kids.
Okay. Fair.
Yeah.
Fair answer.
The loyalty aspect's different now.
Ohio,
no doubt.
The loyalty aspect's totally different now, because you couldn't tell me that if Western Carolina came in and said, if I wanted to leave out, there's no damn way I'm going to Western Carolina. Ain't no damn way. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? If you went to Tennessee, you went to Georgia, you the main rivals. If you went to NC State, you ain't going to Carolina. You just ain't doing that. That's not what you do. But now they throw a bag in front of you. Oh, yeah, I'm there. I played NC State last. I'm playing Carolina this year.
Well, that's what that Concepcion kid's about to do.
Yeah.
But just to touch on this really briefly, that's what a lot of these coaches are coming out and saying is it's not necessarily the players. It's these independent agents that are going to say I'm an independent agent. I'm going to call school A, B, and C and ask them hey, if I represented, so-and-so, how much would you give to get them? What would you do? Completely not representing this kid. They get a financial number. I call said kid and go, hey man, you need to call me. I've got X dollars waiting on you if you go to school ABC. And the kid goes, huh? Really? And then that's what these coaches are saying they're seeing at the major level is these kids are leaving because look at Washington State's quarterback. He's getting 7 figures wherever he goes. Or he went to Oklahoma. He got 7 figures from Oklahoma. You can't blame him. Hate to say it, because what's the percentage of high school athletes that play professional? 0.03. Well, these kids now are going, I don't have to go, because NFL stands for not for long. Stands for not for long. These kids now are making the 3 years that they would sign a rookie deal to.
They're making rookie contract money right now.
They're
making more than that.
Exactly, but they're making it not worrying about being cut.
Correct. Not
worrying about being a late round draft pick or undrafted free agent. They're going, shoo, I'm just going to go ahead and take this $700K, or I'm going to take this $1.2 million, and I'm going to do blah, blah, blah. Look at Armando Bacot from Carolina basketball. Straight up, he's in the G League, and he has already came out in an interview about how he started and bought a franchise into a hotel from his NIL money at Carolina. He is now a hotel owner. Good for him for being financially smart. But that's what these kids are realizing is I can make all this money that I would have to fight and claw for to be one of the 53. Hell, I can be one of the 105 and be the dude and State's home 26 and make just as much, if not more money. So screw it. If I never make it to the league, I made the same money. That's what 18, 19, 20-year-olds are thinking now.
Okay, I agree. You're not going to get a disagreement from me. But let's move on football game wise to the game that I think is the most intriguing of the quarterfinal round. Oregon and Ohio State in the Rose Bowl on January the 1st at 8 p.m. Phoebes, talk to me about that game first.
I think that the way they have rallied after the Michigan loss, and the way in my opinion, Oregon has very talented Oregon, 2 of the maybe the most talented teams playing each other. But I think that Ohio State is now playing more with an edge because of the Michigan loss. They showed some of it against Tennessee. I give Ohio State an advantage. They play well at the Rose Bowl. Michigan, on the other hand, doesn't. You know, other teams in the Big Ten don't. But Ohio State always plays well in the Rose Bowl. And I give them a slight advantage. I think it could be your national championship game if you're looking for the two best teams played in the quarterfinal.
Men, coaches.
Hard to beat the team twice.
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly.
It's hard to beat the team
No, I
twice.
got Ohio State.
I think they're going to be entertained by these two teams right now.
Say it again.
I think they're going to be entertained by these two teams. It may be your best game of the whole playoff.
Ohio State will have a chip. They will have a chip on their shoulder. A big chip.
Big
Jonathan,
Big chip.
what makes Ohio State so good offensively?
You know, they got 3 first-round draft picks at receiver. I mean, sorry, quarterback's just okay, but you got 3 future first-round draft picks at receiver, 2 studs at tailback. It's kind of hard not to be good. Yeah,
I want to jump into that right there. That's intriguing because this may be where Ryan Day, falls when he plays Michigan. He's bought into this that against Michigan, you got to run the football. You know, Lloyd Carr was like that. We got to run the football. Well, sometimes you run against brick walls, you're going to get bruises on your head. If you got 3 number 1 draft picks at receiver and they can't cover it, throw the ball. Who cares? All you want to do is win the game. Do what you got to do to win the game. You don't, even though history says that history also includes Woody Hayes and Bo Schembechler, who hated throwing the football. So I think Jonathan's hit on this is that Day's got to get out of the mentality against Michigan. I got to run the football.
Who wins the football game, gentlemen?
Ohio State.
Look, coach, come on, coach, be the odd man out right here. You want to take Oregon?
I mean, I'm really pulling for Ohio State, but I think I don't know. I'll go with Oregon.
See, I'm rooting for Oregon, but I think Ohio State.
Right.
Well, I've never rooted for Ohio State, so I'm taking Oregon. I'll be wrong.
I'm just when you watch. I get caught up, and Jonathan might be a little different from me. I get caught up when I'm watching, and I guess it's because of the years I put in coaching. When I watch football, I focus right on that damn box. I don't look at anything outside. I'm looking at the DL. I'm sitting there with a couple of my boys and said, "Oh, damn, he false step. That's why he got reached." I'm like, "Huh? What are you talking about?" I said, "Never mind. I'm in my own world right now."
You can't watch the game as a fan.
Yeah. So
I agree.
And I love Ohio State's DL. I just love them. I mean, I'm sorry. Anybody got 4 guys. Anybody get pressure with 4, I tell you, I just get goosebumps every time I see that shit.
Because it's rare and it's a game changer.
Yes, it is.
Well, when it got 21 against Tennessee, I was like, I got so mad because I'm a Michigan man from Flint, Michigan. And I can't do it. I'm telling you, I can't even pick them. So I'm going Oregon. And so when you get to the next game, the other team I've got, the last game.
And Tennessee's DL is salty now. Their D line is salty, but sheesh.
Yeah,
Joel is just,
And
come in.
Well, apparently, Ohio State's OL was saltier.
Yeah, ain't no doubt. No doubt. That's what I'm saying.
God.
Ain't no doubt.
Because I can tell you, and we're gonna start talking about the transfer stuff here and all that was in our group text. As soon as they scored the first touchdown, I said, "Boys, this is over. It's over." I mean, it was obvious that they were more physical, and But anyway, are we going to have a good quarterfinal round? Do you think we're going to have good
Yeah.
football games? Or are we going to have duds?
Nah, they better teams are playing each other.
Yeah.
You just got one just has a week off, an extra week off. One is kind of lathered up a little bit.
You might have one in the quarters, just like any playoff. You suspect, because just what Coach said is that the gap between the town, the two teams are closer, and they're on neutral fields. That we expect them to be really tight football games, but you might have one that gets away from an opponent, or a game that gets away. But I suspect that we're going to have closer football game than we did in the first round.
Jonathan, I'm going to ask you a question. Put yourself in Coach Bobo.
What about it?
In his room right now with the redshirt freshman quarterback. And what are you going to do? How much do you change, if at all, what you do and what you've done all year offensively with this kid at quarterback?
Oh, I mean, he showed it. He showed it in the SEC championship game. It's going to be a lot of quarterback run. Because any well-respected coach that's going into any game that has, you always got to have a game plan for your backup quarterback if their style is different. And I go back to Bill O'Brien at Alabama. His 1, 2, and 3 when he had Bryce Young and that whole crew, his 1, 2, and 3 were all 3 different game plans because they were 3 different styles. So I look at it from that perspective, which means he went into the SEC championship game when Stockton went in. That was the game plan for him. A lot of RPOs, a lot of quarterback run, get him out in space because a lot of bootlegs. Beck's more of an in the pocket guy. I expect him to do a lot more rollouts, a lot more quarterback sweep, RPOs, and then quarterback power. But if he does that, old buddy better protect himself because he didn't against Texas, and God almighty. Woo! Protect yourself.
All right, and this is for all 3 of you. Can Georgia, who I said last week was probably the best team in the country, I have changed my mind after seeing Ohio State. And I know you guys picked Notre Dame. I don't know, Chuck, you never told me who you were picking.
Georgia.
Okay. So for the 2 coaches, what's it going to take in your mind for the Bulldogs to win the Sugar Bowl over the Irish?
We got to run the football. I'd be feeding number 1 to death until he can't run it no more, and then after that, it's up for grabs.
And you're 100% right. But then they got to have you got to do that in a random big play action, momentum changing play. I just don't. I mean, the reason why the advantage goes to Notre Dame is, like you just said, feed number 1. Well, Notre Dame's got number 4, number 20, and number 23. They go, any kid get it, and they're all sophomores or freshmen. And they go tote the rock. 4, you're pretty damn good. Oh, 20, you're pretty damn good. Oh, 23, oh, crap. Like that, I think that's the reason why they have the advantage is if they get the lead, they can tote the rock with healthy backs to drain the clock. Yeah. And so Georgia's got to make a couple big plays. Doesn't have to be early, but it's got to be big momentum-changing plays.
Who has the best back 7 in the country? And John, you answer last because I know your answer.
Back 7 in the country or back 7 that's still
Chuck?
Playing?
Back 7.
Back 7 that's playing right now. Your linebackers and DBs.
I think Georgia does. And they're tested.
I think John's going to disagree with you. We're going to have a major disagreement.
Yeah. That's not the first time.
Yeah. No, it's good. I love it. Yep. No, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just because I think Jonathan thinks Notre Dame's got the best back 7 playing, period, bar none.
Well, are we going with still playing or just in the country?
Yeah. No, we're playing.
No, the only ones that are still playing are in the country.
They're still playing.
They're still playing.
I mean, I got to give the edge to Notre Dame because of experience. They got a kid that started 67 games at linebacker. I mean, literally.
How does that happen?
Because
You don't transfer.
You don't transfer, and you have 6. But you also he's had 6 years.
COVID year.
COVID year. He's the last of the COVID crew.
67 games in college football.
Wow. So that leads us into the next thing I want to talk about. And first of all, Chuck, who won the D2 national championship Saturday?
My good friend from Elma College, a teammate of mine at Elma College, Tony Anise, Fair State. They were number 2. They were dropped to number 2 in the nation. They played number 1 Valdosta, and they tore them a new butthole.
So, but now listen now, they better be ready next year because there's a team from Mars Hill. It's coming, baby. The lines are coming.
State school, baby. Be careful. them D2 state schools are different.
Hey,
it's kind of like racing a single cab pickup truck. Don't race them single cab pickup trucks. They will run right by
stirring
you.
up a rivalry here.
Huh?
That's true. I'm not stirring up a rivalry here.
So,
True,
but
though.
the reason, number one, congratulations to Coach Anise, and he does everyththing the right way.
Right.
He does everything the right way. And
picked up a cigar and smoked it after the game on McKinney ISD Stadium. Okay, and so they suspend him, but they suspended him last year for the first round playoff game.
Yeah.
Well, anyhow, I sent a text to him because there were 9 of my former teammates at Elma College that went down and watched the game, and I sent a text and said, "For God's sakes, don't light up a cigar."
Get in trouble.
So that leads me into this. Number one, congratulations to them because he's built a great program. But that leads me into this. And you guys really correct me when I screw up because I'm fixing to. On January, or I guess as soon as this football season is over, your roster limit is going to be 105. That includes all scholarship of 85 at D1 plus whatever you're going to fill the rest of the roster out at. So now these guys are going to start cutting people from their program starting in January. With all the kids, and Coach Phifer, I want to ask you this first. As this is, even the transfer portal thing is now, all this has changed, even from when it started. Why do I have such fear that D2 football it's going to hurt D2 football, and it scares me a little bit? Or am I wrong? And explain to us.
Wrong. It's just
explain it to me.
Well, I can explain the best of that to my knowledge. What we experience is that a lot of the schools, coaches are waiting on the portal before they're waiting on a high school senior. Because if I can get a 2-year player, 2 years, not necessarily a starter, a guy with 2 years of college experience over a high school kid, I'm going to go after that kid with 2 years of college experience, first and foremost. Now, that kid with 2 years college experience is not looking at D2 right now. He thinks he can go FCS or FBS. Okay, so now it's a trickle-down effect where the waiting goes from Ohio State waiting on a decision from the tight end from Purdue to where Purdue is waiting on the best FCS player. The best FCS school is waiting on the Division II Player of the Year. And it just keeps going down, down, down. Now I'm waiting for the answer from a kid whose clock is up and has to go D2. Well, yeah, they got an offensive tackle from Greensboro Grimsley High School that, good enough to play for us, but I got a chance to get this tackle that's, played college football. So coaches are calling, trying to find spots for their kids. And going down to 105, you got 40 kids, 45 kids that play college. They're going to need a place to go, aside from the 7,000 that are already in the damn portal right now. So we're looking at fluctuation. If you're not a top ESPN 200 or whatever, and you're a kid that's a 2-star, whoever rates them at that level, those kids can probably get left out. But now what you need to do is go JUCO. Shit, 2 years ain't gonna count for you. Hell, go JUCO for 2 years and go, wherever you want to. It's not gonna count against you.
So how bad does that hurt D2 football? I mean, kind of, again, I think I know, but I don't know for real. I don't really know the answer. Jonathan, Chuck, you guys chime in with Coach here, because I fear for any at the lower level now.
Guys don't have to go to us now. They don't have to come D2 to play. They can go. They can stay D1. They can go. They can laterally move. You can move laterally. You have to either move up or down. To play right now, you had to move down. But now, shoot, I can go like John said, I can go from Memphis to Tennessee. University of Memphis to Tennessee, not have to sit at all. And like I say, when you get that money, we can't offer them anything. That's what's going to kill. We can't offer a kid anything. We barely can offer them Pell. So, it's just a struggle for us.
It's a mess.
We can't hear you, John. We can't hear you.
You're muted, Jonathan.
Sorry.
There you go.
I said, when I say this, I don't agree with it. But it's the NCAA ruling that they did about JUCO, I think will have an effect on the D2 level. It'll have the effect on every level.
Yeah.
Because now a kid that thinks that, I'm trying to how to say this, that thinks they're better than they are, that in reality is a D2 player, is going to go to JUCO because those 2 years don't count. So why not give it a shot? And if it doesn't work out, then they can still go D2
and not lose anything
and not lose a thing. That's where I think it's going to start going. Where JUCO, I think JUCO could blow up like not like implode, but like be overflown with players at a high school, because the high school players do not want to think that I'm not a Tennessee caliber player. They don't want to think that they're not an Ohio State caliber.
I'm going to put this up for the group. Answer this question if you get a chance. Keep talking, Jonathan.
But that's all I'm getting at is like that's where it's going to – I think that's where – which again, and I could be completely off. I hope I'm wrong. Like I hope I'm wrong in the sense of I could see some programs going, well, we're just going to – the coaching staff, for instance, we'll just leave and go to a JUCO because at least we know we can get kids. I hope that doesn't happen. But with them ruling that JUCO doesn't count now, and it goes for every sport. Think about a baseball player. Why would you – okay, you're not going to win a state championship in baseball. Like if you're one of those teams and you go, but you know what? I'm not too shabby. Well, then why don't you go ahead and reclass upwards, go to JUCO. Okay, because remember in baseball, you can enter the draft at a JUCO after 1 year. All right, well, I don't like where I'm at. All right, I'll go back to JUCO. I don't like where I'm at. Oh, I'll go back to JUCO because I registered the first year. Oh, now I'm going to be a first year player in Division I college. Then you stay 3 years. You're 7 years out of high school and enter the draft again. Like that. That's where we're headed. And so I do think it's going to hurt every level of college football with them ruling that. Because now you're going to get these kids that they cannot come to the realization. And it's not every kid. You know what I'm saying? It's not. There are some, and it's been that way every year. Just like it typically happens when you get the kid that goes, you know what? I'm going to go to blah, blah, blah school, doesn't matter the level. And then after a semester goes, you know what? Maybe I'm not cut out for this level. Let me go to a different one. Those kids are going to go to JUCO now. And they're going to tough it out because those years don't count. And they're going to try to get to where they want to go rather than where they need to go.
Can I ask you guys a question? Because I want to interject and ask this question. The memo that we got from Dr. Taylor today from the NCAA, and let me make sure that I read it correctly because and you guys tell me if I'm reading it wrong. The NCAA, and this is from Dr. Taylor, Dr. John Taylor. The NCAA Division I Board of Directors has granted a waiver to permit athletes who attended and competed at non-NCAA schools for 1 or more years to remain eligible to compete in 25-26. Does non-NCAA schools also, I know it's junior college, but does that include NAIA?
It's not. It's right. NAIA is not NCAA.
Yes.
So there's another quote unquote COVID year,
Dear God,
which would be another influx of kids in the world.
Yep, another influx of kids that has college experience.
Yeah, which
so
goes
somebody
back
answer Coach Matthews' question.
But then it's going to go back and hurt the high school kids because once again,
What's Coach Matthews? Did you get disrespect in the portal? The good ones don't. To Mike, the D2 kids get disrespected in the portal. The good ones don't.
Got it.
3 years ago, we played Newberry for the conference championship. They had a running back that was unbelievable. He gets in the portal. South Carolina lost every running back in their running back room. He goes to South Carolina. He had like a 79-yard touchdown run against Clemson, final game. He leaves South Carolina, gets a better money deal. He's at Memphis now. He's starting tailback at Memphis because he can play. Limestone has a receiver that transferred from South Carolina, walked on to South Carolina, redshirt as a freshman, transferred to Limestone. He's now at Ohio. He's 6'5", 210, and can flat out fly. So if you're a good D2 player, no. It's kind of hard now because the FCS schools have to play a certain amount of FCS schools get in the playoffs. So there's not many money games now. But a lot of schools will watch D2. If we're playing ETSU and our linebacker from last year, Honeycutt, if he had another year, they would recruit him. They would recruit him because he can flat out play. So but you got some D2 kids that, think they can go play at Tennessee, and I'm jumping the gun. They think they can play at App. They think they can play at freaking Gardner Webb and all this when they can barely play for us. And those are the kids that are getting advice from some. I don't know who they're getting advice from. Let me say that their guidance is not very. They're not telling you the truth. They're telling you what you want to hear, so they're telling you the truth.
Yeah.
And it's hard on D2 kids. The good ones, they have opportunities.
So, Chuck.
Yes.
As a sports guy, as the former radio host, and now that we do this, and the guy that's the editor, former editor of the paper, the guy that was the offensive coordinator at a couple of high schools, D3 Hall of Fame football and baseball player. Is there an answer to this? Is there an answer?
Yes.
Now, not right now. It's mass confusion. I don't know where we go from here. I don't like it. Johnson made that statement. He says, I'm going to tell you what it is. I don't like it. Well, I don't like this. But I played back when it was black and white and plastic face mask and everything. It's old school. We never had that and we're at level D3 level that I played. So I look at this and I'm like, this is a mess. This is just a mess. What are we doing this? Everything we're doing, what are we creating good? Is this the right thing? I can't answer it. I'm just saying I don't like it, but it may be the right thing to do.
I told you. I know the answer. I've told you guys. Y'all don't listen. Don't listen and pay attention.
10th graders. With 10th graders.
Right? But the answer, truthfully.
Hold on.
You ready? I've been saying it for 7 years, going on 8.
Yeah.
You take the top 32 schools that the NFL wants, that MLB wants, NBA wants. Does anybody want to watch NBA G League? No, but you sure as hell want to watch college basketball. Right. Does anybody watch minor league baseball? Nope, but by God, you watch college baseball. There is no minor league football. right? Those are going to be professional organizations affiliated with the schools or with the teams. And then the rest goes back to the original NCAA, where if you transfer, you got to go down or you sit out. Yep. You don't get paid. There is no NIL. That's where it's headed. All this is a test run. I've been saying it for 7 years. This is where it's going to go. And everybody thought I was crazy. Then the portal happens. Oh, man, you kind of may be right. I know. And I know. You follow the money trail. That's how you fix it, is 32 teams, quote unquote, branch off and leave the NCAA. And then the other 100 are now Division I football, and then we're back to the original NCAA. That's at this point, that's how you got to fix it, because otherwise we went 0 to a billion way too quick.
And that I cannot disagree. I totally agree. And so Coach Phife, and I don't give us your anything, because we're not asking anything about inside your rooms. That's not fair, and I would never do that to you. But how much, just if you can answer this question, how much film are you watching on high school kids compared to how much film you're now watching on college kids?
I'm getting inundated on transfer film. I'm asked at least 20 times a day for a kid to follow me because I'm in the portal. Coach, follow me, I'm in the portal. Coach, follow me, I'm in the portal. And I'm getting enough of now. Of course, I'm getting film from high school coaches and everything like that. But I'm gonna look at the kid from Central Ohio, defensive end, 6'5", 275, with 2 years left of eligibility, that's played for 2 years. I'm gonna look at him first before I look at the defensive end out of Apopka High School. You know, we still get because of our connects, we still get our high school film, but with Twitter, Instagram, if they see you a coach, they're gonna ask you to follow you. They see you coach, please follow me, coach. Follow me, coach. Follow me, coach. So, and I am not a tech savvy guy. Okay, the only reason I got Instagram is because I gave a kid a card at a camp. He said, "What the hell is that?" It's a card. It's a card, dog. He said, what's your gram? I said, what? So I had to load Instagram up to get on my phone just so I can get in contact with kids now. So, I mean, like I said, we still, but now again, we don't have a lot of transfer kids in our program. And we have a few, but we recruit a lot of high school kids. And
on the D3 level, it's all high school kids.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so I mean, it's this transfer portal. I mean, I'm sure there's schools that will get a kid or two or three, but you know, most of the D3 schools are not really a part of this. They're not at that level.
Right.
They're just not at that level.
And we lose a lot of kids at Morris Hill, and I'll say, with the exception, and I'm not going to name names, the exception of 2 or 3 schools in our conference, we'll lose kids to the Valdosta States, to the Fair States, because they can put Pell back in the kid's pocket.
Right.
Because that's what a lot of kids
when he comes back, we got to get back to that point. Chuck, yeah. Coach, go back until you lose kids to what? Then you cut out.
I heard him.
You lose kids to what?
State schools. Because of the fact that with a few teams in our conference, with exception, money wise, we can't put Pell back in the kid's pocket, but yet Valdosta State can, Albany State can, Fayetteville State can, Winston-Salem State can, and we're playing those kids, those schools, and those kids are going. And these are with transfers and high school kids. A Pell qualified kid out of high school gets Pell in his pocket at a state school, Division II. A transfer kid is looking, well, coach, how much you putting down? How much you gonna give me to live off campus? Well, we can't give you anything. You stand in the dorm, but yeah, he can go to Valdosta State and get whatever it costs to live off campus because it's a state-supported school. So it's kind of, we're behind the 8 ball a little bit because of our finances and being a private institution. But there are a couple of private institutions that are successful in our conference doing it the way they do it. So, but like I said, you got to have a collective. We don't have a collective, you know.
So we've had the discussion about that, and I want to get back to the sport. Let's get back before we get off here for the night. Do you guys, after round one, and we could have a whole 5-hour show just on how they pick the team. So, that's another discussion. But with it being as it is, or was the first round, and I know we were going to have the blowouts and all that stuff, but was everybody excited to watch the first round? And are you really looking forward to the quarterfinal, the second round games? And is your interest there in the games themselves? Forget all the stuff surrounding it. Forget the transfer portal. Forget the NIL. But the actual football games. What are your thoughts on the is it what we thought the 12-team playoff would be to date?
I'm more excited for this weekend, for the next round, honestly. But I thought the best weekend of football in college was championship weekend.
Yes.
Back before. I thought that week, those games for conference championships, those games that weekend was unbelievable. Every one of them for every conference. And I think that kind of built up the anticipation of the playoffs. And then we got kind of let down a little bit, but I think the next round will amp up a lot.
Johnny?
I'm excited. I'm only really super excited to see one game this weekend, Ohio State, Oregon. Just to be honest with you,
I thought you'd be a little amped up for the Notre Dame Georgia situation. Georgia's
not fun to watch. To be honest with you, I don't think
they don't do enough for Jonathan.
Just in general, they're not exciting, and it's just I'm tired of seeing Kirby sitting there with this stupid ass visor, standing on the 10-yard line like rules don't apply to him. Well, you got to be inside the box, and he's always at the 10-yard line thinking he can do it. I'm just tired of watching
him. Chuck, I'll top that.
Why do I have to follow Jonathan and go last on this thing?
Top that, dude.
All right. I watched Bug Tussle State and Bills Barber College. I love that stuff. I was excited for the first round. I'm jacked up for the quarterfinals and what's going to happen to see how it plays out and everything. I watched today University of Texas San Antonio and Coastal Carolina. Then I watched Northern Illinois and
Fresno State double overtime. Yeah, I watched that one. Yeah, I watched that.
I didn't miss the play.
Yeah.
So
see, we're football guys. We like football. We're gonna watch football. Good football or bad football. We're gonna watch football.
And what I love, Chuck, is that Jonathan's going, man, I'm going to see what's happening on the edge. Man, they got the DBs. We're going to do this. And how come he's not here? And Coach Fife's going, I don't care about anything besides these four guys here in the middle. and I don't know what Jonathan's seeing. And Jonathan's going, well, Chuck, man, you need to see more. I love that. And the thing that I do love about the way that the football is played now, even though like in the NFL, it's basically glorified 7-on-7, is your job, Jonathan's job, is to get my best guy one-on-one with somebody with you. And then your job is to take and get to his guy that's going to try to get the ball to his best guy in that box. And it's basically it's a game of chess now because the way that the offense is now, especially at the college level, it has opened the field up. The width, not just the depth, but the width of the field is all in play now. And that is kind of fun. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Jonathan, what are you reading, son?
Emails.
Okay, because you act like you're losing interest. I hate to come over and bust you right now.
I'm trying to go through these emails real fast.
Okay, and Chuck, Santa Claus is probably still not coming to see you.
That'd be 31 straight years.
So, looking forward to good games this weekend.
You saw
Before we go,
my text where I made a prayer that if the man up in Valhalla would give enough to Tennessee to beat Ohio State, I would not swear for a whole year.
Oh, well,
you can cuss like a sailor now, brother.
Oh yeah.
So before that's pretty good. I got to give you credit. Before we go, do you want to have the discussion without us getting heated? Do we want to have the discussion about the narrative of the conferences?
No,
I don't have time.
no,
Okay.
I don't want to scab pull on Jonathan. I love Jonathan, so I don't want to make him mad in front of Coach, Phife. So,
Well, you ain't gonna make me mad because hey, facts are facts. It don't matter to me.
there he goes.
You can go off one game all day long. It don't matter to me.
So anyway, guys, thank you all. You got it very informative. I appreciate everything. I know that we get so many people that watch us, and the thing that's really cool is they go back and watch us after the fact. So everybody have a Merry Christmas. Please be safe. Remember again before we get off here.
Hey, Coach Phife, would you ever consider moving to Big Rapids, Michigan?
No.
Okay.
All right, hold on, guys. I got to run.
Okay.
I'll talk to you later.
You know what he's doing? He's probably trying to schedule a game because before we get off here, can we talk about this real quick? And Coach, you got to be careful with this, I think. The North Carolina State High School Athletic Association.
I can't say a word about that, Jonathan. All I know is
they screwed up here.
They're awful.
They screwed up beyond screw ups because they still don't even. Here we are, the 23rd of December, Coach and Chuck. They don't even have the conferences set. You got these teams that are going around trying to get non-conference games. You don't even know what conference you're in.
Coach, I went to 4 high schools last week, and Coach is looking for games.
Yeah, Jonathan's all that. That's what, and I'll guarantee you that's what those emails were for. He doesn't know what to do.
Tell Jonathan to call Coach Hobbich at Watauga High School. He's looking for 2 games.
Because but you don't know how to schedule because you don't know how many conference teams are in your conference.
Right.
That's it's why are we here on the 23rd of December? Why? And it not done.
Gotta go, guys.
Okay, guys.
See you.
A pleasure.
Always a pleasure, Chuck.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, guys.
Merry
Chuck,
Christmas.
I'll see you. Coach, I'll see you. We're out of here. Have a good night. God bless everybody. Have a Merry Christmas. See you, Coach Phife. See you, Chuck.
See you.